Our LA NBA studio with Paul and Jalen. I'm Michelle, and for a game between the Celtics and the Pacers that had actual repercussions, something was going to come out of this. It just didn't seem like the Pacers showed up, but let's give some love to the Celtics first. And Paul, you thought 7-game series between these two. After what you just witnessed in a 20-point blowout, what do you say now?
Yeah, I still think it could go 7 because I believe that Indiana, they're a tough, gritty team. You know, they didn't show tonight, but I haven't seen Jason Tatum play with this type of aggression consistently all year. I really like he got 19 shots up. You know, if the Celtics are going to go far in the playoffs, I really believe that they have to play through Jason and Hayward. And, you know, somewhere along the way, Kyrie Irving has to fill in the blanks. You know, if it's a close game, you know, he's a guy that's clutch for them down the stretch. But these two guys really got to step up for them to make another deep playoff run.
And Gordon Hayward, as you mentioned, getting a chance to return to Indiana. He and Brad Stevens both started at Butler. Now, all of a sudden, when you return home, how do you respond in front of the home court fans? Do you freeze up or do you get on fire?
That one.
And that's what he did, the latter. He was terrific in half court, getting his own shots. He played in transition, and when he's attacking and he's aggressive, they look like a different basketball team.
Yes.
Especially coming off the horrific injury that he had last season.
So can we talk a little bit? I almost feel like sometimes we jinx some of these guys. Bogdanovich, we talked about pregame that he was now leading the team in scoring since Oladipo was out. And he finishes the night with 4 points. And when you have a couple games left in the regular season before you have to go, and now you flip-flop the 4 and 5 spots as a result of tonight's loss, what do you take from that if you're the Pacers and specifically him?
Well, you have to figure out who's going to be the next guy to step up for them and who's that number 2 guy for the Indiana Pacers. If Bogdanovich is not having a great game, who's it going to be? You know, that's the luxury they have with having Oladipo, because last year when I watched them in the playoffs versus Cleveland, Oladipo took the lead, Bogdanovich was right there, and they took pressure off each other. He doesn't have that right now. You know, they have a lot of different role players that you can't put into the role of go-to guys. So they're going to struggle, I believe, if he doesn't play well. And we saw that tonight.
But Indiana's calling card has to be his defense. I mean, you can't get better with losing your best player. This is going to probably be a 50-win team that doesn't have an all-star.
Right.
So the level of effort that Nate McMillan wants to get, they weren't able to get it today against Boston. They got behind. The Celtics were able to continue to stay on top.
Well, there were other games. That one's over with. We want to pay attention to some of the others. Raptors and Hornets playing well basketball this evening. Under 10 seconds to go, Hornets down 1. Kemba to Lamb. Boom. That's the go-ahead.
Who said you could silence the Lamb?
Oh, no, you didn't. No. Where'd you get that?
How clutch is this guy?
Hornets up 2. Kawhi with a chance. No! It's wedged at the rim. Wedged. Sounds weird saying it out loud, but the Hornets win 113-111. How about some?
There you go. That's their second best player, Lamb. You asked earlier.
Michael Jordan, the Hornets' second best player.
Russell Westbrook to Paul George here, and he secures the triple-double average for the season. Season number 6.
Did he get a triple-double today?
Well, we're waiting on that. He's just a couple short. He's close when we last saw.
Blake Griffin returning to Oklahoma was unstoppable, in particular the first 3 quarters, knocking down threes, finishing in the paint. Came up gimpy a couple of times.
Oh, and no triple-double for Westbrook. 2 rebounds short. Oh, Russell, you kill me. Heat Timberwolves need this win. How about some Dwayne Wade? No grades.
See, those are the type of plays where you get frustrating when you're a fan of Karl Anthony Towns. Be stronger with the basketball in that situation.
Wade had a chance here. A lot of fakes. The Heat lose this one.
Beetle. When you start to get older, you do a lot more pump faking.
Yes, okay. Big win for the Magic, though, and that's obviously a bad one for the Heat. So there you go. That's what's happening in the East right now. Wednesday night is going to be a very interesting night. Biggest takeaway for you guys from the Eastern Conference?
Biggest takeaway for me is who's number 6 right now. It looks like they're going to be in the Orlando Magic with their all-star Nick Vucevic.
I still think
Aaron Gordon.
I still think you and Chauncey's Detroit Pistons are going to be on the outside looking in. I do believe Miami Heat will take that final spot.
You do?
Yeah.
You still have faith? What about Blake Griffin's evening? At one point, we looked up, he had 9 threes.
That was a heat check right there. He needed some help. The rest of the starters didn't give him much support.
No, that seems like a waste of to get 9 threes and 45 on the night. I feel like I need something from somebody.
After an effort like that, I'm pissed.
But you know what happens, right? So Blake Griffin is an amazing athlete that has converted himself into a knockdown three-point shooter.
Yep.
Sometimes as a defense, you'll live with that. You want him to shoot from the three. So if he's making them, congratulations. If he's driving, he's making people around him better, throwing lobs to Drummond and things of that nature. So he had a great offensive game, but I think that was OKC's game plan.
All right, Damian Lillard continuing to build his case for being the best Blazer of all time. He just crossed the 2,000-point barrier.
Did he play for the Blazers?
There are a bunch of them, actually. He matches Clyde Drexler, though, as the only player from Ripken to score that many.
There you go.
In
He on his
12 different seasons.
He'll be second.
That's tough, though. Clyde
Got a little
Drexler.
more work to do.
How about some Spurs Wizards?
Go, Spurs, go!
Popovich and company up in D.C. Second quarter, Spurs up 17. DeMar DeRozan.
You know one thing I love about Pop? He got ejected 2 minutes to go in the previous game. And the reason why I don't bet on the NBA, I would have bet anything that they would have came out and played well today.
And they did, and they got the win. And right now, things are happening. Greg Popovich, 1,410 career wins in regular season and the playoffs, ties Don Nelson's second most, and 2 shy of tying Lenny Wilkins for the most ever.
Phil Jackson and Pat Riley got rings on rings on rings.
That all being said, where do you, I'm not going to answer this question. Where do you place Pop, greatest coaches of all time?
It's a tough one. You know, you got Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley's in there. Man, that's a good one. He's going to be in the top 5 before it's all said and done. I mean, he's obviously going to end up with the most wins ever. It's a great conversation. 5 championships.
Just top 5?
Top 5 because I can't put it in order right now, but I know I have Red Auerbach over him, Phil Jackson, and then after that I have to think about it.
Then it gets tricky?
One of the things about like Coach of the Year and getting their accolades is we usually give the credit to the guy we perceive that does the most with the least. That's why Phil got overlooked a lot of times with the Coach of the Year. But I think Pop, developing the teams that he's been able to develop, deserves to be in that top. Yeah, I agree with Paul. Like top 3 or top 4 of all time. That's a tough Mount Rushmore. I mean,
I can never look. Sometimes
him and Pat Riley is going neck and neck.
All right, that's fair. That is fair. We'll see if he decides to come back. We got some Dirk Nowitzki highlights. That's always a good thing.
Captain Dirk.
Dallas hosting the Grizzlies in the first. He gets the start. Woo!
Can I tell everybody a secret? Dwayne Wade is on a retirement tour.
Look at that.
Y'all trying to make Dirk retire.
I don't think he's retired.
Trying to kick it with Luka. He's trying to hang out with Porzingis next year. He ain't trying to retire.
He's not trying to go anywhere. Time to go courtside for some Trailblazers Nuggets. The next 3 Damian Lillard hits will break his own franchise record for threes in a season. Does he get enough credit where the three-point shooting is concerned?
Well, he get enough credit when I have a microphone because I always talk about the fact that he's led them to the playoffs each season, regardless of whether they had a secondary all-star. He's the one guy I've ever seen participate in All-Star Weekend in the dunk contest, three-point contest, and win the skills challenge.
How about
Man got game.
Paul, what do you think? Jokic, first, second team All-NBA center. Where do you have him?
I'm going to give him the first team this year because I didn't expect Denver to be where they're at this point in the season. They had a chance to get the number 1 seed. They probably don't, and he's led the way all year long. I'm going to give credit to where credit due.
You going to give it to him over the Jayhawk MD?
I'm going to give it to him where credit is due. No
that
doubt.
is a big deal.
Wow.
That is a big deal.
You become a professional.
Well, let's not
So
get carried away.
unbiased.
Jamal Murray with 11 assists Wednesday against San Antonio. It's his second 10-assist game of the season. Do you want him to be more of a pass-first point guard?
Well, the thing about their offense, they're able to invert it because Jokic is probably going to lead them in assists the way he is able to not only make plays from the top for himself, but for others. But injuries has unlocked their roster. So you see Beasley and Craig and Morris playing quality minutes. I think this Denver Nuggets is still going to surprise a lot of teams by the way they play in the playoffs.
I almost don't even want to do this one because I don't want to jinx it, but Evan Turner now has triple-doubles in each of his last 2 games off the bench. Do we get a third tonight?
If he can give you this production going into the playoffs, they could be a problem because, he could be the X factor. They need more help, especially with C.J. McCollum. Who knows if he'll be back or even healthy.
Woj did say possibly playing on Sunday.
Yeah, but see, but we don't know how good he'll be once he gets back. He'll be a little rusty, but he can give some production. They may get out the first round this year.
I'm almost glad I actually am glad. Jalen, 4-time All-Star Paul Millsap. Is he a glue guy or an X factor?
I think for the Denver Nuggets, he's a glue guy. because he's a veteran. He understands his role. There's going to be nights where he's amongst the team leaders in scoring and minutes. He understands there are going to be nights where he's not getting a lot of quality minutes. He's going to keep everybody being professional and appreciating this opportunity to be a number 2.
Yeah, he's the one veteran that has that loud voice in the locker room that probably everybody on the teams respect. He's been around the block. He's been an all-star, been on some winning teams. So I would agree with you on being a glue guy.
How about this? Just real quick, Nuggets, Blazers, who needs this one more? They obviously still have a little playing room there.
Blazers.
Blazers for sure.
Well, Blazers are trying to still move up. I think
Yep.
Nuggets have all but secured the number 2 spot. So Blazers are trying to catch Houston Rockets for that 3 spot.
Chasing
So
for
they
3.
need it a little bit more.
Guess who's calling the game tonight, guys?
Who's that?
Chauncey.
Phillips.
Dave
Oh,
Pash,
man, let me
yours
turn the
first.
volume down.
Hey.
Yeah, we're not going to listen to you,
Hey,
Chauncey.
DBs.
Another 2, yes.
Let me turn this volume down on Chauncey.
Believe me, he's glad he's here with us. The playoffs are in the air in the Mile High City, and the Nuggets are postseason bound for the first time in 6 years.